So let's understand what exactly is this full stack development. Full stack development is nothing but it is basically the combination of front end and back end side of the application. What is this front end and what is this back end? Front end side of the application is nothing but basically what we users or customers see on the screen. Whenever you visit a web application, whatever you see on the screen, that is front end side of the application. Okay. For example, when we visit this Amazon application, whatever we customers or users see on the screen, whatever images you're seeing, whatever search icon, buttons, all this is the front end side of the application. Now coming to what exactly is this backend development. So the part of the application which users don't get to see on the screen is the backend side of the application. Let's understand this better by looking at this three-tier architecture. Client side is nothing but basically this is the front end side of the application which we users see. We use the application on laptops, desktop and mobiles, right? Us users get to see only front end side of the application. This server and database, but this is backend side of the application. Say here, if I search for laptops, all this laptop data, whatever we are seeing on the screen, all this is actually stored on the database. Now what happens here? Front end will request the server that, hey, I want laptop data, which is stored on the database. This is called as a request. Now server talks to the database, get the laptop data from the database, and now the server sends that data back to client. This is called as response here. Now client will take that data which is coming from the server and in a very good looking way shows that data to the users, okay, on the front end side of the application. If you are a front end developer, you'll be working on the client side of the application, and if you are a back end developer, you will be working on how to set up the server. You will be working on managing the database, creating the APIs and giving it to the front end developer. Front end developer will take those APIs and make requests to the server. If you want to become a front end developer, you will first need to learn HTML, then CSS, and then there is Bootstrap or Material UI, and then there is JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are core web development technologies. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is one of the three core web development technologies. This is a very basic web page. Whatever you see on the screen, this headings, this paragraph, these side headings, these radio buttons, this checkbox, this button, whatever you see on the screen, all this is created with the help of HTML. In Amazon also, whatever you're seeing here on the screen, this images, everything is created with the help of HTML. HTML is responsible for creating the structure of the web page. It means that just creating all these elements and putting them on the screen. So if you notice here I'm having image, I'm having a list, heading, paragraph, button. Just creating these elements and putting them on the screen creates the structure of the web page. If you just build this web page with the help of HTML, obviously this does not look good. We cannot present this web page to our customers. Now this is where CSS comes into picture. So now with the help of CSS, we can basically style our web page. We can make our web page look really good. We can add background color. We can change the position of the elements. Earlier the list was here. It is now put here. And we can increase the size of the heading. We can change the font style. We can increase the size. We can change the colors. We can make buttons look good. All this can be done with the help of CSS. We can make a web page which is looking like this turn into this with the help of CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. After learning HTML and CSS, we can create this web page. But what happens here is this web page is not interactive. If you click on about, if you click on contact, if the user comes, clicks on login, download, nothing happens here. We can create this web page, but nothing actually happens here. Users will not be able to interact with the web page. We learn JavaScript to add user interactivity. If the user clicks on login here, we should be able to see a login form, or we should redirect the user to a login page where he should be able to enter his credentials. But all that is not going to happen if you don't include JavaScript. After including JavaScript, now if the user clicks on this login button, we can actually show user this pop-up where he will be able to give his credentials, where he will be able to give his email and password. Now, once the user clicks on sign in, what we can do after we learn HTML, we can also check whether the email and password are correct or not. And if the credentials are correct, we can now redirect the user to their dashboard. This is possible once you include JavaScript to your project. Without JavaScript, the functionality, the user interactivity will not be there. This is the reason why JavaScript is so important in web development.